So Nvidia's 3090 Ti, okay, 3090 Ti. All right, we all know the new 3090 Ti is supposed to have come out beginning of this month, but rumor has leaked that is now coming out the end of this month, March, as in March 29th. Leaked information, a little like slideshow thing shows, quote, product announcement March 29th at 6 a.m. Pacific time or 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. AIC pressed an influencer release at 9 a.m. and on-shelf stock at 9 a.m. all on the same day, which is quite interesting because if that's the case, there's a good chance that they are in the mail right now headed to influencers because they usually get it a week or two before launch time. That way they have time to review it, test it, and look at it. One thing interesting here is that they're allegedly, because this is unconfirmed, launching and lifting the embargo on the same day. Lately, it's been embargo lifted, then it launches like sometime later. It usually doesn't launch at the same time.
Usually like a day before or something.
Yeah, a day before or like a week before, depending on your stock.
And that's what you want to happen. You want to see reviews before you spend your money in most cases, right? So it's kind of shady. What's that?
I said, no, just buy it right now.
Yeah, so that's kind of what Nvidia says. Because if it is like an incremental performance jump over the 3090 and it costs way more than that performance jump, then yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of just, in my opinion, bad practice to have that be the same exact date and time, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it's usually what Apple does. The day they announce something, usually the day it comes. Well, back when they did Apple keynotes.
The difference with Apple is that people go and buy their product and they're exactly what you expect them to be.
Yeah,
whether you like
it's no
Apple or
cagey
not,
shadiness. Yeah, it's like really what it
there's
is.
not like, oh yeah, we'll hide all these reviews. You know,
suppress your review. Can't say certain things.
Right, exactly.
Man, if I had a way to get a hold of these hardwares like under the table, I would do it. Without Nvidia, like
you want to be the Snowden of the tech world.
So I have my own opinions
Snowden
about
already the Snowden of the tech world. No,
he's kind of fallen off the radar. I don't want to be the Snowden of the tech world, but I'll be like the Snowden light. How about that?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'll be the Snowden light.
The Snowden
like
cash.
the less illegal Snowden. I don't have anything against the guy. It's just he's still his life still got messed up. So like, I don't think I was worth it. But yeah, we won't get into that right now. That's kind of a hot button topic there. So let's just go into some specs on the new 3090 Ti, right? So here's some like really high level specs. The bandwidth is now 1008 gigabytes per second, which is over a terabyte. Okay, that's insane. It has 256 more CUDA cores, has 2 more RT cores, and the clocks and all that stuff has been little improvements there. Nothing major, okay? Yeah, it's a little faster. Here's another key takeaway. The TDP has been upgraded to 450 watts versus the 350 watts on the non-TI version, okay? It allegedly, okay, we don't know this for sure, but this is what they're saying, is going to come standard with the 16-pin microfit connector from Nvidia, which is what they're calling their new PCIe 5 or whatever gen standard connector. Right. Another thing is allegedly, which has not been confirmed yet, by the way, because we don't have a card in hand, we haven't seen any reviews yet. It's all rumor, but it's probably true at this point. The memory capacity is the same. However, they are running faster at 21 gigabits per second, which is kind of weird because the old memory ran at 19.5 but was able to be overclocked to that amount. So does that mean it can clock higher than 21? Because that's pretty freaking amazing. I don't know how they did that. On top of that, we went from... Go ahead, Andrew.
Just real quick with that, if you were to run a 3090 with no power limit So let's say you were trying to achieve the clock speed of the 3090 Ti,
Mm-hmm.
both core and memory. Chances are you'd be pulling pretty close to that 450 watt TDP anyway.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a factory overclock with the power limit ceiling raised up. It's not that this card is like drawing so much more power for nothing. It's just literally like more performance, not more efficiency.
Exactly. I would say that I don't know. I think it's a cash grab. I'll say it.
The last of the run kind of thing.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get into that right now, but I'm gonna check chat real quick before we move on.
Sure.
Let's see. GT Man. Oh, you guys are talking about the 30%. So GT Man says because at 10K the IRS has to know. So Apple says, wow, YouTube takes 30%. Would you think there's a better way to donate? So there are better ways to donate, but here's the thing. Donating on YouTube is kind of a social thing, the way they structure it. So when you donate on YouTube, a super chat, it highlights your name, it shows to everyone that you did it. But when you donate privately, where there's no fee, nobody knows it happened, right? So that's kind of the appeal when you donate is like, okay, so it brings it up to me. You get you're supposed to get priority to your answer or whatever your message, and it shows the community that you donated. Now, you could just like PayPal me. There's all these other ways you could donate that don't require that fee.
You could PayPal me.
Yeah, you could PayPal Andrew. Yeah, what I mean me is the company, TekShinji Media Group. So, there's ways to do it, but it's not necessarily what people want, because when you donate, unless you want to be totally anonymous. Let's see.
I mean, basically, like you said, it's a social thing. YouTube wants you on their platform, and unless there was, a competitive platform for us to be on, we like being on YouTube because it gives us a fairly large audience, and it lets us do these live streams in 4K and all that. So we appreciate YouTube, but if there are people that want to support us, there are other ways to do it.
Yeah.
So and like you said, this kind of social thing, they're kind of for different purposes at that point.
Yeah, and one thing I want to kind of get at is that one thing nice about us doing it on YouTube is that if we were a bigger company that made more content more often, all that other good stuff, we can structure it to where we don't need sponsors, right? We could just rely on super chats, donations, consultations, things like that. That way, the chance of us being biased is like much lower because we're relying on ad revenue, right? So we want people to watch the video instead of like pulling a Mr. VOSK coin, there's different tactics to it and to monetize and all that. And I can make a video about it or talk about that in a future thing if you want. Just drop it in our Discord, the content suggestions. So I'm just going to keep reading the chat stuff, then I'll go back to the final thoughts on the 3090 Ti. Soul7 says, TekShinji, they want people's money before the burn reviews come out. Bum reviews come out. Yeah, that's possible. John Germain says, no more under the table with USDC. Oh yeah, the United States wants to make a coin or something. New connectors too. Might be, no, I don't know what that is. I'm getting a call from someone. I'm actually like trying to close on a house right now, so I'm kind of paying attention. CPPC Tech says donate and NFT. So I'll reveal a little bit. I haven't really talked to Andrew about this yet. Sometime in the future, perhaps this year after I'm done moving and everything and buy a house, there will be a TekShinji NFT eventually, and it will not be available for purchase. You can only get it by being in our Discord and being active and all that. There will be no monetary value way to get it. It will be tied to a monetary thing, but you won't be able to buy it. So that is something that's coming out.
If you want to buy it, let me know. Send me a DM on Discord. But
one Ethereum, please. Yeah. So it is something we're gonna be doing in the future. It's just complicated, and there's like a lot of stuff you actually got to do to make sure it's legit. Because when it comes to crypto stuff, guys, we want to be very transparent. We don't want to do a rug pull. We don't want to create our own coin. Okay, we don't want to do a pyramid scheme, because that's what a lot of these projects end up being. Let's see. Oh, Golden Wolf just did a super chat. The amount, by the way, the amount doesn't really matter, but thank you so much for $2. His message was 9999.69. You know what, Golden Wolf? I like your style. That gets a TekShinji endorsement from me. CPP Tech just also did a super chat. $1.99. It's a cute doggy. Oh, it's actually, was that a Shiba Inu? That's a Shiba Inu being all hearts. Thank you so much, guys.
Boy.
We really appreciate it. It's cute, isn't it? I think it's cute. Let's see. I'm gonna finish up chat. CPP Tech says, love seeing y'all faces in 4K on my OLED. Oh wow, that's awesome, dude. That's great.
That is cool.
Streaming in 4K is not cheap, guys. It's very expensive, but it's what we do to set ourselves apart from the other YouTubers and stuff out there. All right, so finishing up on the 3090 stuff. So that new connector, that 16-pin microfit, it is allegedly going to be up to 600 watts with a rated TDP of 450 watts, which is pretty nice. What I left off on was the 24 gigabytes running at 21 gigabytes per second, which allegedly could mean we could go higher than that. So that will be very interesting. Also, here's the other thing. It has now gone from 1 gigabyte modules to 2 gigabyte modules, which means they can get away with having all the modules on one side of the card. TekShinji, why does that matter? Well, if you guys know about the regular 3090 that has modules on both sides, we all know about the overheating issues when you're doing, you know, folding proteins at home, you know, deep machine learning, AI rendering, you know, stuff like that.
Playing Cyberpunk.
Playing Cyberpunk, that's very memory intensive, things like that, right? Well, it would cause it to overheat, essentially. Like, it wouldn't actually overheat. It'd get right to the red line and the edge, but it was not good for the card. So, being that it'll become 2 gigabyte modules, they'll be all on one side, the same side as the cooler. It'll no longer be passively cooled on the backside. So this could mean improved performance. And, of course, you know, less components and all that other stuff. And we won't need an active backplate.
Yeah, the memory modules protect themselves. You don't have to really worry about them getting damaged from running hot.
Mm-hmm.
But in the cases where they do
real quick,
reach
Andrew,
that,
let me just respond to a super chat. We got another super chat here from CPPC Tech. $1.99 is a Shiba Inu squeezing her heart. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Wow, guys, super chats are coming in. Thank you so much, guys. It really does mean a lot to us. Thank you so much.
That is $9.99, not $1.99.
Oh, I must have gotten my dyslexia confused. $9.99, not $1.99. Thank you so much, man. You've been here a long time, so we really do appreciate it. Go ahead, Andrew. Sorry.
Yeah. So, like, even though the cards were running hot on memory, and that didn't necessarily constitute a problem for the memory's longevity, what it does is usually the card will power limit itself, and therefore you will see performance scale downward until it reaches equilibrium to the point where it is able to do a certain amount of work and maintain a certain temperature, and it's going to maintain that power level, which is going to be reduced performance mode essentially. So yeah, by having the memory chips all on one side, that's a huge plus, because you don't have to say, oh, you know, Gigabyte is using a plastic backplate and their memory on that side is going to be like throttling all the time.
Plastic is an insulator, folks.
Yeah, having it all on one side at least means that the heat sink responsible for cooling the core and up to now the front side memory, it will be responsible for cooling all of the memory. And we shouldn't see nearly as many problems unless we're seeing thermal saturation of that 450 watt TDP.
Which, I mean, when you think about it, that's a ton of heat on a 3-slot card.
It really is. I don't know, man. Are we gonna be switching to like 3 blower fans instead of 3 typical fans?
You're gonna have to put like an attachment on the end that adds a 4th fan. You need a 350 millimeter long case.
Honestly, yeah, you're definitely gonna need a case that has optimized airflow. This needs to be something you're aware of if you're using a card like this.
Who knows? Maybe hybrids will become standard for this type of card.
I'm gonna do a 5950X 3090 Ti Dan case build.
External radiator, right?
No,
There's
all
no
air.
way you're gonna fit that in there.
All air.
All air.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, I forgot what the hell. Look at my notes. I just totally forgot. There's something about the 3090 that was kind of important. Oh, okay. So as you guys know, we were talking about thermals and all that. So we actually, if you don't know, we made a video. Andrew worked very hard on that video. I was just a pretty face for the first few seconds. Andrew did do a lot of work for that video, so thank you to him. Part of the reason why he promoted himself out of internship.
Yeah.
We did make that video, and Andrew, if you want to go ahead and drop that into the live chat, I really appreciate it.
Yep.
It's a video where we actually compared all those thermal pads out there. So we didn't get them all, we just got the main ones that seemed to be pretty popular at the time. And we compared them all, did our testing, and our hypothesis was kind of different. So we went into it thinking that we're going to find the best pad and this is going to be like hands down. No, it was not the case, because here's something that a lot of people don't consider when it comes to engineering. When you are adding thermal energy into a thing, that thing is only engineered and designed to dissipate so much thermal energy. Now, when you increase the efficiency of thermal energy transference, that thing is technically handling a higher load per time, okay? The total load going into it's the same, but the amount going into it per time increases. Because of that, it might overall increase the temperature, which would increase the GPU core temperature, and that can actually reduce your performance, which is insane to think about. Like, that is not something... A lot of people in the comments said, oh, you had lack of contact. If it was lack of contact, guys, it wouldn't be like this across the board on every single pad. Okay, just putting that out there. All right, that means we improperly mounted the card 32 times? Whatever it was a lot of times. Okay, I don't think we're that bad at mounting pads on cards. Just putting that out there. So we do have that video. It is in the live chat. Go watch it. It's kind of long, but it's got a lot of great information.
Yep. So the thing with GDDR6X is it runs hot and it uses a good amount of power. I think, and I'm a little rusty on the numbers right now because I kind of forget, but
yeah,
I think in all a 3090 used like 60 watts of 60 watts of heat were produced
on
just
the memory
from the
alone.
memory. Yeah, and then once you start overclocking, that number only goes up.
And the thing that is cooling the card is only designed to handle so much heat. So when you
the heatsink is only designed to handle so much heat.
Yeah. So when you increase the efficiency of memory heat transference to the heatsink, it can kind of be at its thermal limit, and at that point it'll increase its temperature. So
right.
That is something very interesting when it comes to that type of stuff.